I'm Jim. My wife died of cancer about 7 months ago.
I'm Scott. 19 months ago, I lost my wife to pancreatic cancer. Like most people that have this type of cancer, the struggle only lasted 2.5 months.
My name is Bethany, and I became widowed at age 33, and my husband suddenly died when he was 37, and we have a son who was 2.5 at the time.
Like everyone else, I experienced the shock and the guilt and the denial and the sleepless nights. At first, I think the first 3 or 4 months, I was trying to find another woman to take my wife's place.
It was devastating. I was completely in shock for probably about a year.
This cancer took from me, my partner, in an arrangement that we had to raise our 3 children and operate our 2 small businesses.
I didn't care if I lived or died. I didn't care if I cut my lawn. I didn't care if I ate my lunch or if I slept. I didn't care if I opened my email. I didn't care about anything.
In those months, I did not want to deal with the loneliness that I felt. But I did know I had to deal with it.
I knew I needed to talk to someone, and fortunately, a friend of mine introduced me to the Widowed Persons Services. I attended a couple evening meal meetings, and then I also attended a 6-week group session from the book, Journey Through Grief.
About 9 months later, I discovered Widowed Persons Service.
Through a referral of a family member, I heard of Widowed Persons Service. I was invited the following evening to a discussion group, and in the following week to a social outing.
In this meeting, I met people who were struggling and trying to cope with their grief.
There were many painful emotions to overcome, and so with a large amount of energy, I was able to control my emotions, and I was able to survive these 2 meetings.
Some people experienced anger. They might have been angry because the person died unexpectedly, leaving them with responsibilities that they felt they weren't capable of handling.
I did meet new friends at the first meeting, and these friends have continued to grow.
I finally went to a meeting, and I was so glad that I did. It was like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders.
In the meetings that I attended, I did learn and find out that I am not the only person that have had these emotions and had these difficulties transitioning to a widowed person's life.
Some people experience the anger from their spouse. In any case, people have to understand that when someone is sick, they can't do the things that they're used to doing. They can't do the things they would like to do. And this frustration adds up, and it's a foundation for anger.
And, there were a lot of head noddings and, yep, that's how I feel too, and oh, that happened to you. And it was just really comforting to know that people really knew what you were going through. The other thing I like about Widowed Persons Service is that it's a very educational support. You don't just sit around and talk about how hard this is. We all know that, but you learn things that you can do to get through this grief.
By discussing it with other widowed people, I've learned how to be comfortable with my situation and that I am not alone in this struggle and how to adapt to a new life.
You can only feel guilty if you foreseen the consequences and intended them to be a result of your actions. And because this isn't true, you need to be kind to yourself. You need to forgive yourself.
That's what we really want help with. We want to figure out, how do I work on this so I'm not stuck feeling this miserable forever. We're really lucky to have Widowed Persons Service.
I like the prayer, the Serenity Prayer. God, give me the grace to change the things that I can change and to accept the things that I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Widowed Persons provides a service to the Grand Rapids area by showing the widowed how to adjust and return to a social life that improves their life as well as the community around them.
I'm so thankful for it, and I just wouldn't be where I am today without it.
In conclusion, I'd like to thank the Widowed Persons Service for the help that I have found in my journey of grief.